In Demon Slayer, Rengoku was one of the strongest characters. He even went toe-to-toe with Upper Moon 3, Akaza, and almost decapitated his head. The only reason author killed him was because he knew that his presence would just make Demon Slayers easily win against Mujan in final battle. But what if in the moment where Rengoku was offered to become a demon, Rengoku had accepted it? Now that would let Demon Slayers in quite a predicament. Not only they lost one of their strongest Hazura, but also got an enemy who would directly fit into the upper ranks, if not at the top. So that's the what if we are going to discuss in this video. What if Rengoku decided to become a demon? Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more of these types of videos. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. At the Mugen Train incident. Right at the brink of death, Rengoku is once again offered to become a demon. Rengoku wanting to survive, and there still being a lot that he hasn't done in his life which he wanted to. He hesitantly accepts Akaza's offer. Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inozuke were shocked. They tried to attack Akaza, but Akaza just released his immense bloodlust, rendering them unable to move. Akaza made Rengoku drink his blood, and the transformation started. Akaza saw that the sun was rising and grabbed Rengoku, trying to get out of here. Tanjiro, with all his might, stood up and launched his sword towards Akaza, impaling his neck. Akaza, gritting his teeth with anger, swore that he would teach Tanjiro a good lesson next time when he got chance. Tanjiro yelled at himself in frustration, not being able to save Rengoku, and Rengoku choosing to become a demon in his presence, while the only thing he could do was lay at one place only due to the pressure Akaza bloodlust was releasing. This incident put a big scar on him. After returning, Tanjiro and the others told the corp about what happened. All the Hashiras were enraged that Rengoku chose to become a demon, especially Tenjin and Mitsuri since they were closest to Rengoku. Tenjin started to train, and also involved other Hashiras since no other training will be helpful in making him any stronger than he already was. He convinced them by saying, if Rengoku became a demon, he would easily be in Upper Moons. And to hold our own, we have to get stronger. With the enemy's forces getting stronger, we have to do so ourselves. Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inozuke also joined the training, determined to get stronger. Zenitsu was now serious. After what happened, and with the presence of these three, it changed them completely. They were now determined, and started training under the Hashiras rigorously. When the Hashiras were tired from their training, they trained these three, and soon the time came to go to Entertainment District. Tenjin got to know that his wives were missing and went to investigate. He also got intel that an Upper Moon was there. Before leaving, he told the other Hashiras that he will be away on a mission. And while he was leaving, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inozuke approached him and asked to be brought along. Tenjin thought that this would also help him and took them along with him. The next events went just as they did. Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inozuke went in disguise to investigate. Tenjin went to do his own investigation, and soon Tanjiro fights Dake while protecting Hinizuru. But this time, due to the intense training he has been doing, Dake was no match for him, and he easily defeats her. Gyutaro comes out and attacks Tanjiro. Tanjiro barely defends against the attack. Gyutaro releases his attacks, also injuring many of the people living there. Tanjiro, seeing this, was enraged and enters his badass mode, all his physical abilities taking a huge leap, and goes toe-to-toe with Gyutaro. But after 3 to 4 minutes of battle, Tanjiro falls to his ground. Unable to breathe, Gyutaro was enraged and tries to attack Tanjiro, but Zenitsu comes and slashes his arms off. Inozuke attacks from behind, but Dake saves Gyutaro. Gyutaro regenerates and moves to attack them. But suddenly both his and Dake's head falls to the ground. Tenjin was standing beside Tanjiro, thanking him for protecting Hinatsu and telling him to breathe properly. He easily defeated both the demons in one go. With the recent training he was doing, the new Tenjin is on another level. Not only him, but the other Hashiras also. Everyone's physical ability was way more than it used to be. The shock of Rengoku becoming a demon changed them completely. Tenjin and the others then finds and regroups with Tenjin's wives and returns to the Demon Slayer Corp base. There, after a few days of rest, they return to their training. Tanjiro leaves for Swordsmith Village to get a new sword for himself. Meeting Muichiro there, but this time them being friendly, then training with the replica doll of Yuriichi and learning its moves, enhancing his sun breathing even further. Right now with the Hashira training and learning moves from this doll of Yuriichi made his sun breathing equal to what it was when he was fighting against Mujan, and him giving it to his swordsmith to get it back in its perfect condition. Then meeting Mitsuri, and during night him training with Takedo. That was when Hantengu attacks them. Hantengu did split into many of his clones and they also fused. But it was no match for both Takedo and Tanjiro, and Nezuko also helped them fight against him. He was easily defeated with fight not lasting for a long while, Mitsuri encountering Gyako and killing him easily. Remember I said they're now for stronger than before. Also one more thing, Tanjiro Mark awakened when he was fighting against both Dake and Gyutaro alone. This happened when he was in his badass mode. That's what I like to call it. Not much damage was done to the village. After a while, all three regrouped and were helping with the damage that was done. But then, suddenly, Rengoku and Akaza appeared. Akaza said, I didn't expect those two to die so fast after they entered the village. Oh well, not that anything can be done anymore. Let's do what we came here to. Mitsuri, Takedo, and Tanjiro were enraged after seeing them. Tanjiro tries to attack Akaza, but flames come and block his way. Rengoku says, that's one fierce human. Tanjiro backs away. Mitsuri and Takedo asked Rengoku what he was doing, and if it was really worth becoming a demon. Rengoku says, he doesn't quite remember who they were, but being a demon was the best thing. Takedo and Mitsuri, hearing this, attacked him together. Rengoku, using his blood art, covered his sword in flames and swung it towards them, releasing a flying slash of flames. Mitsuri and Takedo tried to dodge the unexpected attack but received minor burns on their skin. Tanjiro told them to focus on taking care of Rengoku while he will try to handle Akaza until they are done with him. Akaza, annoyed, said, damn brat, well, that's good for me. I have been wanting to teach you a lesson for quite some time. Nezuko came and stood beside Tanjiro, ready to help him. Akaza, shocked, asked, why is a demon like you with human? Wait, more than that? Why are you helping them, and that too without Lord Mujan knowing about it? Oh well, now I will get rid of you too. The battle begun. Both Mitsuri and Takedo charged at Rengoku. Rengoku said, let's test how I compare against these demons. Slayer and lit his sword of fire. Takedo with his speed appeared behind Rengoku. Rengoku noticed him and said, not bad. Takedo's sword from behind and Mitsuri's sword from above came towards him. Rengoku created a spiral of slashes around him. The fire covered him like a barrier and deflected Takedo's and Mitsuri's attack. Rengoku then swiftly turns to attack Takedo, and they enter in a continuous clash of swords. Rengoku uses his fire to attack Takedo from different directions at the same time while they were clashing swords, but Takedo even defends against them. Mitsuri from behind comes and with here flexible sword slashes off all of Rengoku's limbs. Rengoku was stunned and starts to fall to the ground. While his limbs get separated from his body, Takedo in that same moment goes off to decapitate him, but Rengoku lets out a smirk and releases fire like an explosion from his body. Both the Hashiras were caught in explosion and were thrown away, crashing into trees. Their skin burned, having received a lot of damage. All of Rengoku's limbs ray attaches to him. On the other hand, Tanjiro and Nezuko attack Akaza. Tanjiro and Nezuko from the beginning started attacking him with full force. Akaza also activated his blood demon art, boosting his power. Tanjiro went ahead and started clashing with him. Nezuko appeared from side and attacked him, but Akaza dodged Tanjiro's attack and grabbed her hand, tearing it off completely. Nezuko blood splattered over Akaza and Tanjiro, and she used her demon art. Akaza and Tanjiro started to burn. And of course it had no effect on Tanjiro, but Akaza was in immense pain. Akaza grabbed her by the face and went to smash her on the ground, but Tanjiro slashed his arm off, saving Nezuko. This went on for a while, and Tanjiro, due to his injuries, started to slow down. Nezuko was the one mainly fighting him, getting stronger slowly as the battle went on, protecting Tanjiro. Tanjiro then, seeing how he was useless and seeing his sister sustain injuries because of protecting him, was enraged at himself and got up. Tanjiro has unlocked his selfless mode. Tanjiro's demon slayer mark manifested and he appeared behind Akaza out of nowhere. Akaza couldn't even sense him. Tanjiro almost slashes Akaza's head off. Akaza's in the nick of time backs away. Akaza was shocked at what just happened. Nezuko, catching him off guard, punches right though while laughing maniacally. Nezuko uses her blood art to burn him from the inside. Tanjiro leaps towards him to cut his head off. Akaza grabs Nezuko's hand and crushes it, and tries escapes, but it was no use. Tanjiro's sword was covered in Nezuko's blood. As Tanjiro's sword reaches Akaza's neck, Nezuko uses her blood art and lights his sword on fire. Tanjiro with his buff cuts through his neck like a hot knife through butter. Right after cutting Akaza's head off, Tanjiro heard the explosion and saw towards where the Hashiras were fighting and saw them getting thrown and crashing into the tree. As Rengoku appeared and was about to say nothing, Tanjiro appeared behind him menacingly. Rengoku sensed the movement behind him and turned, but Tanjiro used 12th form, decapitating all his limbs in one swift motion and then aiming for head, but right then raging flames formed around Rengoku, shielding him, severely burning both of Tanjiro's hands. Tanjiro jumped back to avoid any further damage. Rengoku, now a little afraid, regenerated his limbs and his sword was brought to him by his severed before it disintegrated. Rengoku, seeing his arm turn to ashes, was shocked and knew it was because of the flame on Tanjiro's sword. Tanjiro rushed back in before Rengoku could fully heal himself, and remembered about the 13th form. The sensation of a new form he felt while connecting all his other forms during his battle with Gyutaro and Dake. At that time, it was taking a huge toll on Tanjiro's body, but right now, it seemed possible. Tanjiro started connecting them and finally completing the 13th form. Rengoku was about to be defeated, his limbs were chopped off, plus Tanjiro's sword was on fire because of Nezuko's blood art, making it even easier for him to cut through Rengoku. As Tanjiro approached for the decisive strike, he was kicked away. Akaza's body came to help Rengoku. Headless, Tanjiro looked at who kicked him and saw Akaza's body. Then he glanced at where Nezuko, she was lying at one place, her one leg and arm torn of and her severely injured, unable to get up. Tanjiro got up. He knew that now everything was up to him. Half of his face and both his arms burned. The anger built up within him. His eyes were now slowly getting covered in blood. Tanjiro knew this sensation, his physical abilities to max now. His rage mode, selfless sensation, his demon slayer mark, all active at the same time with his new enhanced speed. He rushed at both the demons, fighting them alone. Akaza and Rengoku both noticed his growth right now. Tanjiro wasn't anything less than a demon. That was when Akaza's and Rengoku memory of Yuriichi from Mujan blood triggered. Nezuko saw Tanjiro and wanting to help him tried to get up, but it was no use. That's when Rengoku arm flew off and fell near Nezuko after getting cut off by Tanjiro. Nezuko started to eat it. Nezuko blood art flame lit back again on Tanjiro's sword. Tanjiro, noticing it, glanced at Nezuko, and her injuries healed. Not only that, but she seemed stronger, but something was wrong. It seemed like she was trying to stop herself. Suddenly, Tanjiro felt a shockwave run through his body. His body was giving out with last of his strength, and the only openings on the demons, he slashed them through the waist, and both the demons' torso fell, their lower half separated. Tanjiro fell to his knees, breathing heavily, starting to lose consciousness as the demons recovered. They saw Tanjiro unconscious and knew they can't leave him alive. But Akaza's head and Rengoku half-torso was cut off. Mitsuri and Takedo were back up. Now with Demon Slayer marks, Takedo and Mitsuri thanked Tanjiro for lasting that long. Akaza's body and Rengoku upper half that had his head backed off and regenerated. Nezuko appeared from behind them and splattered her blood on both of them, burning them and collapsing from exhaustion. Mitsuri and Takedo, taking the chance, attacked Akaza, who was abnormal. He was fighting even after having his head cut off. They cut off all of his limbs along with his heads and went off to slash him into many pieces, but Rengoku appeared in front of him, releasing many slashes of fire, which were easily destroyed by the Hashiras. Rengoku, seeing this, said, "Looks like I have no choice." He put his sword back in its sheath, and his one arm suddenly got a lot buffed and bigger. Rengoku ripped it off and threw it towards the Hashiras. Takedo slashed it into pieces. Rengoku, with his other hand, grabbed Akaza, who had no limbs and no head. The chopped up pieces exploded while suspended in midair and created an explosion. Then the smoke cleared. Rengoku and Akaza were gone. The Hashiras were also injured. Sensing that the demons were nowhere near, they knew the two fled. The Hashiras took Tanjiro and Nezuko back to the village since they lured the demons out to protect the village from destruction, and after reaching there, all of them collapsed in the middle. As the sun rose up following their collapse, Nezuko, who was unconscious, started to burn, but within seconds it stopped, and it was revealed she conquered the sun. The villagers who were coming to save Nezuko by covering were stunned. The people there then took care of all four. And when Tanjiro woke up, he saw Nezuko outside. In the broad daylight, Tenjin rushed out, happy to see her well. And not only that, she was completely fine in sunlight. Tenjin appeared and complimented him, saying he got to know from Mitsuri and Takedo that while they were half unconscious, he was fighting the two upper moons alone. Tanjiro, then remembering, asked how the Hashiras were and what happened to the two demons. Tenjin said that the Hashiras woke up a week ago, and the demons fled after getting overpowered. Somehow the Hashiras' physical abilities enhanced by a lot, and they overpowered the demons. Then happily said, but they said that they were no match for Tanjiro, and that Tanjiro alone was equal to both of them combined while they were in that enhanced state. Tanjiro asked what they were going to do next. Tenjin said, they have already started to train the other demon Solier as a war was soon coming up, and the Hashiras were training much harder now. Starting that day, the two Hashiras will also start their training, as it had been 1 month since their rest started. Their body needs to get used to the intense battle they will be facing. Tanjiro was a little confused after hearing 1 month and asked what Tenjin meant by 1 month. That's when Tenjin told him that Tanjiro was unconscious for 1 month, after another week of rest. Tanjiro started his training. On the demon's side, the moment Nezuko conquered the sun, Mujan got to know it and was happy, and summoned all the upper moons. Rengoku and Akaza were also teleported back to the Infinite Castle, and after seeing them in such state, all the other two upper moons were shocked, including Mujan. Rengoku then explained what happened, and Akaza regenerated all his limbs and head. Mujan, even after seeing their defeat, was happy. It was fascinating to him that Akaza, survived even after his head getting cut off. He then read Akaza's memory and saw Tanjiro. He was exactly like Yoriichi. Now Mujan was serious. He enhanced the two demons who came back defeated by giving them a lot of his blood, until it started to cause them immense pain. Akaza and Rengoku endured the pain knowing that it would make them stronger. Rengoku thought, "Good, I lost a lot of strength because of doing that last move. But now it has all been recovered. I won't let them live the next time I see those demon slayers." Mujan then told them to prepare for war, and that they're going to capture the demon that conquered the sun, and his lifelong dream will come true. Kokushibo was ordered to handle Tanjiro in the battle. One more week passed and Tanjiro returned to his training. After another week, he was called and Ubuyashiki gave him the title of Sun Hashira. Tanjiro was shocked at this, but Tenjin, Mitsuri, and Takado happily congratulated him, knowing how powerful he was. He didn't deserve anything less. Then the secret of Demon Slayer mark was revealed to everyone and they went back to training. Tanjiro met with Zenitsu and Inozuke, who came back from a mission and were shocked to know that Tanjiro was now Hashira. Tanjiro shared his experience with them and then everyone went back to training, know that an important was coming up. Tanjiro trained by battle other Hashiras on equal footing. Not only that, Tenjin, Mitsuri, and Takado, having seen his potential and true power firsthand, had him battle to Hashiras at once. Tanjiro at start was having trouble but then was able to easily hold his own. They increased the difficulty and had him battle all three of them at once. Firstly, the other Hashiras thought that it was foolish, but they were soon proved wrong. The training went by, and all the other Hashiras also awakened the mark by having to battle two or three of the other Hashiras at once. Tanjiro learned to use his selfless form at will, and perfected his 13th form. This time Shinobu made the toxin to defeat Mujan and cure for Nezuko. The time went by and the demons attacked. Ubuyashiki blowing himself up and weakening Mujan. Yumi attacking Mujan. Shinobu showing up and using her toxin to weaken Mujan. Other Hashiras, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inozuke also coming. They all attacked Mujan but were caught in Infinite Castle. Giyu and Tanjiro against Akaza, Iguro and Mitsuri against Nakame, Zenitsu against Kaigaku, Inozuke, Kano, and Shinobu against Doma, Tenjin against Rengoku, and Guillaume, Sanemi, Takado against Kokushibo. After a while, Tanjiro, with his new strength and Giyu's help, defeats Akaza by chopping him into pieces. Doma was defeated with Inozuke and Kano being at the level of Hashiras helping Shinobu while the poison was doing its work by weakening Doma. Zenitsu winning easily. Mitsuri and Obinaya were having a hard time because of Nakame's ability but won in the end. Rengoku was battling Tenjin. Tenjin, even with his Demon Slayer mark, was having a hard time, but prolonged the fight long enough that Giyu and Tanjiro arrived to help him, while Shinobu, Inozuke, and Kano arrived at the place where battle against Kokushibo was going on before anyone could die. And soon Kokushibo transformed into his true demon form, but seeing what he had become, he gave up and perished on his own, just like how he originally did, without even crossing paths with Tanjiro. Tanjiro, Giyu, and Tenjin together got rid of Rengoku. In his last moment, Rengoku recalled his memories that he had forgotten because of becoming a demon, and thanked them for killing him. Tenjin was injured badly but held on, and the battle then went on to Mujan. Mujan was then cornered by the Hashiras. Tanjiro then used his selfless mode and gave Mujan a taste of what he experienced against Yoriichi, making him remember his PTSD. Then everyone together defeated Mujan with little to no casualties. You might think the ending was short, but there wasn't much to be done. All the Demon Slayers started training even before Entertainment District Arc, and even awakened their mark before battle started. And let's just give Tanjiro the spotlight he deserves as being the main character. And other than that, he is the one with some breathing. Started training under Hashiras before Entertainment District Arc. Anyway, with this, the what if is all done and finished. I hope you liked it. And share your thoughts on what could have been done better and how in comment section so I can implement the good ones in next video. As usual, if you like watching the video, hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more like this. Have fun, fellas.